Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Rick Games and welcome to the Stanley Parable 2. This is not the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition or whatever anymore. Stanley Parable 2. Let's begin the game. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Well, now I'm scared. We'll see if they would give me another trophy for you can't jump, but it doesn't. Okay, we're fine.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the
It
trophy?
does the same thing again?
Check a door 5 times? Is that
Seriously?
all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Should I do it again?
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter the cost. Why don't you go...
Damn it.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up.
No.
Why was he not doing it?
I didn't even see the bucket. Why is the bucket here?
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Oh, the new content door is gone.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's follow the instructions for now. Because I have a confidence bucket or whatever.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
I really do.
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Broom closet!
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket.
This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Lifelong.
Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this
What?
how low the broom closet has sunk?
What did
that
it say
has to
about me?
resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
What'd you call me?
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
What?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient?
You son
that
of a
your
bitch!
life is so banal and meaningless
I'll
that
fight
you
you!
feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate
Ah!
object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner?
Ah!
Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really
Kick.
tell the broom
Kick.
closet off for its demeaning comments.
Kick.
Expand on
Kick.
the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point.
Yeah,
Share
there was
your
a time he
journal
showed it
entries
to me.
detailing the rich emotional landscape
time I
of your
almost missed
feelings
it.
for the bucket, as they have changed and evolved over the years.
So
Let him
evolved.
have it.
I'm telling you, you son of a bitch. My bucket, though you be a little dick about it, I'll kick your broom. How's
Okay,
that?
I've got you something which I think
What?
will help settle this debate once and for all.
What'd
Here
you
we
give
go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning
Oh, it says
supplies
property
and
is
their
Stanley on the
relationship
bucket.
to broom closets in the natural order of things.
My bucket.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here,
yes?
and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You
Bucket.
see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you
Take
can
the
look
sticker.
down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Okay, see this broom closet? This is my bucket because it says property is
You know what?
Stanley and it has
I
a
could
sticker.
take the name
Yes?
calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now
In my
the
head.
broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You
Bitch.
can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
This is now officially the story about Stanley and a bucket. And his bucket. Not just any bucket, it's his bucket. Alright, what do you got for me?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Upstairs to the boss's office with my bucket. Hello, boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would.
The bucket,
And
yes.
he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
Separable.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
I noticed it
Nor in
immediately.
his bliss of simply being near the bucket, did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
The bucket knows all.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes, that's so logical that the bucket is the one. Hey! I got a thing.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I really and truly do. I will keep them in my bucket forever and ever. Let's go. Going downstairs, got my bucket, got a Stanley figurine. Going through
The elevator
space.
raced downward,
What?
plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Well, it's the mind control facility.
It would
I've
be
been
all
here.
Stanley could do to keep himself together, if
What
not
was
for
that?
the bucket.
There was another floor.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything's fine. Oh, that spark still happens, huh? Alright.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's go, bucket. We're good. We're good with everything. Yes.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
My bucket is very nervous right now. Is this the same thing with just some bucket dialogue?
The monitors jumped to life.
I think it is.
And
Like, I
Stanley
think it's
nearly
just gonna...
dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the
drop
office
my
was
bucket.
being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
What's up at 234?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
No,
Had
no,
the bucket
no.
been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept
No!
it. His own life in someone
Look, look at
else's
234,
control.
it's all messed up.
Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
You and me, bucket.
He could trust no one except for the bucket.
Long as we live, it's you and me, bucket. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We're moving on up.
But here was the
Stanley
proof.
and his
The heart of the
bucket.
operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way.
Bunk.
The bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Playtime's over.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
I don't know.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the
Stanley
tyrannical
and
grip
the
of the evil
bucket.
mind control
Bum,
machine.
bum,
Freedom was now
Bum,
mere
bum,
moments away.
bum, bum.
Excitedly, the two
Yes.
of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live
I mean,
once they stepped through this massive door.
You know,
The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
Sure.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Makes
Both
sense.
of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh, what? What happened?
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible
It's closing,
power and
hey!
presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself.
You
as
sure?
long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What happened? He was just stuck in that room forever? Because the building didn't want the bucket to leave? That's insane! Where's my bucket? Give me the bucket.
All of his co-workers were
Shut up! I want my
What
bucket!
did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
We're okay. I have the bucket. Everything's fine. Don't do that to me! Don't take away my bucket!
Oh, please.
Oh my god, it really is.
You're really
Okay.
just doing this for the trophy. Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Speed trophy run.
No. I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to
Where's
have
the
meant
subtitle?
something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter the cost. Why don't you put 20 bucket touches into door
Bucket
417?
touches?
Okay, great. Now, go touch the bucket on door 437 a few times. Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love.
Bucket love!
Now back to door number 437. You
Bucket.
know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. All right,
Bucket.
back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
I think, whatever.
Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
Am I not?
Yes,
There
this
we
is
go.
great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416.
416 on a mother-loving cop.
We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
That's so weird. That's such a weird sentence.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430. Yes! We did it! Wow! That felt amazing. You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience.
It's true. I didn't even get a trophy for that. That was just for fun and talking about bucket love. Bucket love.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Bucket
and opened the door on
sex.
his left.
Let's get together and do butt stuff. What? Butt love. Whoa. Trust the completionist instinct. Wow, okay. There will be a reward for finding them all. No, you won't. No, there won't. I know there won't. Looks like 427. Haha. Yeah, I know. 5 there be, just take it from me. Take it from me. Yeah, gotta collect them all. A private but smelly place for an important person. Somewhere both red and blue. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. A large room. Lots of boxes. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. Places to search. There will be cleaning of this wall required. I want to go home. Oh. I want them so much. Stop kidding yourselves. Lies. Who are you? 666, lol. Warehouse access plan. Produce one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from the warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. We need more planks. I don't know. This looks like stuff about that's talking about over there. Because there's the there's the bathroom, and there's the something with both red and blue. There's the red and blue doors, and here's the fireplace that he was talking about. Yes. So look at all this now. Fig leaves are hard to find. They're called fig leaves? I didn't know they were called fig leaves. Thank you and good luck. Okay, thank you and good luck to you, sir. Look at all this. That's all different. How can we find them? Alright, don't worry about it.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers.
Oh.
If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
No stickers, no broom closet. Gotcha.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's go in here. Aha! You were right.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about
Figlies.
mini stands?
No.
Stanley figs?
No.
What about Stanlerines? Yes.
Oh, I like
that.
Stanlerines.
Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I like Stanlerines better than Figlies. You know what? Yeah, continue on, because...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for this. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
The bucket knows all!
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
There was a Figlarine over here. Stanlerine. Alright, so this time, should we do the countdown ending or the escape ending? Is the escape ending the Zending that everybody's talking about? Or that everybody was talking about in the Zending?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Alright, let's see what happens if I do the whole thing with the thing.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I want to see if I can do the countdown ending. I'll come back and do the... I'm going to call that the Zending because I don't know what the hell else it would be.
Dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Ah. Let's go.
He screamed into the bucket.
No.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter.
No.
His one friend in the
If
entire
it was
world.
if it was a bucket of Diet Coke,
He could trust
I could totally get behind this.
except for the bucket.
My bucket. My bucket.
Here was the proof.
Wherever
The
he
heart of
goes.
the operation.
He
Controls
goes,
labeled
my
with
bucket.
emotions, happy,
My
or
bucket.
sad, or content. Walking,
My bucket
eating,
and
working,
me.
all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Yeah.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
The bucket did it.
Stanley gasped in horror.
Bucket!
Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
Seagulls.
Silly, silly birds.
Silly
The
birds.
control buttons became active again.
Oh, hey. Okay. Birds.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
It was a bird
It was
control.
a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a
Look at the
facade
bird!
to disguise its true intentions.
Oh,
Had
hi.
the bucket known this all along?
Probably.
Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Happy Stanley. All's well that ends with a happy Stanley. Just looking at pictures of birds and videos of birds, the rest of the... Oh my god, that was it. That was the actual ending. All right. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Already this was uncomfortable.
Tell me about
And
it.
Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room. Give me my bucket. Give me
The
my...
confusion and
bucket.
the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced it.
Of course it does. Let me tell you something.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Yes?
Yes, Stanley thought to himself.
Definitely,
perhaps
yes.
it truly
Oh,
was.
chairs.
How insightful the bucket turned out to
Look at
be.
these couches. They look so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable, these couches. Okay, moving on.
No, never mind. The bucket
The
was
bucket
wrong.
was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Okay, I'm not going to do that.
No,
Said the bucket.
Now.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
Right.
But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Let's go.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
I don't see a dark room. Oh, that. There's a
Now
ringing
pick
phone.
up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Am I gonna have to go through this and do every single other choice?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Where are we? Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press triangle to take me to work with you. Okay, let's go
The
to work.
Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Hello, bucket. Just logging in. Press triangle to take me back home with you. Let's go home.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well?
Where's
To
bucket?
see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Okay. Let's go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me?
Yes.
Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk.
You don't know
All
that?
it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Rest left for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was
Music.
me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press triangle to ignore anyone in your life except for me. I don't know why the bucket is a robot in my case, but
Sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on,
It's
he's just
dark
going
out.
to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
look how shiny. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press triangle to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Watching TV with my bucket. Press triangle to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying?
I don't know.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
Not the bucket.
Why do I feel
a good
so
bucket.
need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
It's more than a regular bucket. It's my friend.
Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. Oh no,
Oh.
no! What's going on?
Oh,
Why do
no.
I want to be the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to
No.
me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it.
No.
Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
What? What? People are falling in love with this bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone.
They sure as
What
hell
could it
were.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms.
Ah, yes.
With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Such a warm, lovely bucket. Oh, God, I'm actually tearing up thinking about this bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You got it.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Yes.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Insightful little bucket.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
No,
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I definitely did not.
No,
Said the
No.
bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
You know
Stanley
what,
did
bucket?
not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Except this time, because I'm going this way. Ah.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point."
That's ridiculous.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game
What?
if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Step in where? What? You don't know what this is. What is this? What?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios,
Ah.
and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to
Here
know
we go.
about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Yes.
Item 1.
Oh.
Is this a bucket?
Yes, it looks like my bucket. Look at it. It looks like my bucket.
Incorrect. It is a
What?
hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? But it looks like my bucket.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct.
Hey!
It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
That makes it a bucket. What? Ah,
Item
you.
3. Is this a bucket?
Hologram 3D. Oh.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
It's a bucket? How was I to know?
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
It's got bucket seats. Oh.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
I don't
It's an
know.
enormous machine that tills the earth.
How do I
It's
know?
a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up?
I don't know.
Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Okay.
Is this a bucket?
I just want to see him freak out. Oh.
Correct. This is a bucket.
What? Ow!
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How's it both?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Bam.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here.
Oh,
And I
no.
don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Nothing is a bucket. Hold on. If something is nothing. Wait. No, nothing is something. You can't be talking about nothing, because if you're talking about nothing, you are talking about something. But if you're talking about something, then nothing is something. So if there's nothing there, then there's something there. Because we're talking about it. We're talking about nothing. Therefore, we're talking about something. And if we're talking about something, that something could very well be a bucket.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective.
I understand
What is
it.
a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Technically.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid
Look at
the
this.
bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
What? No.
Here we go.
No. Ah, don't take my bucket.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Because everything's a
Everything
bucket.
disappeared. Wait, was everything a bucket?
Yes, that's what I
Every
was trying to
single thing in the
say.
game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea.
Well, now you do.
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
Yes, you
And
are.
Stanley, you're still here.
Oh, wait.
You're not a bucket either.
Oh, then that's
Oh,
true.
This is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
That's good to know.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Yes, please.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket.
It's all a
And
bucket.
if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
No,
Who knows
that'd
what
be.
that information might do to a person.
Yeah, it might mess
All
them up.
Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Co-workers are gone.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket, I'm going without you for this one mission because I need to get the collectible thing.
When
This
Stanley
way?
came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting
Uh-huh.
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So crazy that just
Stanley,
picking up
I
a
think
bucket
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
triggers a completely different set of dialogue.
I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this
There's a balloon
time.
up there.
There's someone
Several
you've been
balloons.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration
okay.
for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines.
Yes.
And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
I like Stanlerines.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Stanlerines.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Hit me with it. Hit me with your solution.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, this is the one where you have to throw
Just stay
yourself.
right here. No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Stairs? Something
Please, no,
with
Stanley,
stairs?
Stay here. Don't take this from me. Please,
Uh,
Stanley. No! Oh, thank God you lived. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Listen to me.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Listen.
Can you
Okay,
do that
so
for me?
we got the one Stanley.
Is this really how much you dislike
Well, we got
my
4.
game?
All of the, you know.
Would you throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
I hate the fact that I
Would you
can't
willing
come
to
down here
kill
with a
yourself
bucket.
to keep me from being happy.
That's messed
Am I
up.
reading the situation correctly?
So if this has nothing to do with the Stanley,
Or maybe
Oh my
you're just
God.
getting a kick out of it. I don't know
do this
anymore.
over and over again.
I just wanted us to get along.
Sure.
I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
I'm sure there's stuff in this game that I'm missing.
Is it over?
Yes.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yes, you are. Now, stairs at the boss's office, though.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
Balloon.
Perhaps he had simply missed. Stanley picked
Bucket.
up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again. Not truly alone. Not with
Anyway.
the bucket around.
Not with this bucket, no. This bucket and me, we're going places.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I sure did. Now let's take a look at this meeting room. Stairs, something to do with stairs, in a large room, lots of boxes. What's the large boxes room? We have to synergize our resources. There are many questions. This was no memo from management. How can you tell you spot it well? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Nobody knows.
Stanley, we must move on from this
There's
broom
no
closet,
stickers,
simply
okay.
because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Aha!
You're getting close now, Stanley.
We're getting close.
You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon,
No.
you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then.
Yes.
Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all.
All of
you
them.
can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Awful. Okay. I would love to read that note, but I cannot. Alright, let's see.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned
No.
his gaze, said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket.
What?
It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket?
No,
this
it's-
is all terribly wrong.
it says
Surely
properties-
no good
what?
would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it.
I gotta find my
Far off
bucket.
in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley, Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Bucket!
Could it truly be?
The
He
you!
rushed forward from room to
Look at all
room,
the
passing
buckets!
by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Ah!
It was incredibly painful.
Ow!
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh no, not Mariella!
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day,
Oh no!
her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
Right.
Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions
I don't
and
think
how
he said that.
everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion
Well.
and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this.
No.
There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work. For
Stanley
which her
Reeves?
bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything.
Yeah.
Heck yes, she thought to herself.
Heck yes.
My life kicks ass. And she flipped all the way to work.
She backflipped! That's ridiculous. My life kicks ass! Backflips! Alright. Alright, I'm gonna... Oh, God. I know we're only one Stanley Reed away, but I can't think of where it is, so I'm gonna end this episode here. And I'm gonna reflect on this all day. But I need to go find my own bucket. I have a can. It's a start. I have to go find my own bucket, and for right now, I'm gonna leave this episode here, man. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Should I get more buckets? Should I get less buckets? Am I missing anything without the buckets? Am I missing anything with the buckets? Who knows? You do, probably. This game is old. Hit the like button. Subscribe to Rick Games. Helps me out a lot when you do that, and check out the annotations at the end of the video for more videos that I've done. And the gates. More of the Stanley Parable 2 / Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition Ultimate Gold Friendly Buckets next time on Rick Games. Bye.